coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Transformers Prime Deluxe class Starscream. As you can see, Starscream is this new fancy jet which looks very sleek and very fast, very much like what Starscream really should be. The general look of this is just really kind of sleek. Now I know some people have complained about like the bottom here, you can see legs, and the side you can sort of see legs. I really don't think it looks all that bad. I don't know what specifically kind of jet this is modeled after, but it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like a jet. I mean, it's got wings and it's got a thruster thingy and a cockpit. So yeah, it does a pretty good job of looking like a jet. Really nice kind of gray and almost like a darker gray, but a little bit metallic in through here in terms of the paint job itself. It's got some red highlights throughout it. I really like the Decepticon symbol here. Now a lot of people have talked about how that this looks like the movie Starscream face. We'll get into that a little bit more later on. And then the bottom missiles, some people have complained about those because they're not painted or anything and they're a very soft rubber, but it's in general not a very bad looking jet overall. He doesn't really have landing gear. He kind of has these little nubs. You got two nubs here in the back and then you got one nub right here. And this is the nose cone here is a soft plastic, so the nubs are kind of weird. But, I mean, it's a plane. He flies. Why does he need landing gear? In terms of a size difference, as you can see, this is the classic mold for Starscream, and it's kind of hard to see because I know he's white and the background's white, but as you can see, the Transformers Prime Starscream is ridiculously smaller than this guy. The jet just by itself is a very tiny looking jet. I don't know, like I said, I know that this is like an F-14 or something like that. I don't know what kind of jet this is to know whether or not this is scaled properly, but this guy's pretty tiny. As a Transformer, what you want to do, just take these missiles off, set those off to the side, and then come around here to the bottom, untab the legs. They tab into two places that I'll get into later on. They tab in right up here and right down here, so just kind of loosen those, rotate those around, and then separate this section, pull it out from its base, then rotate this around, and then you're going to tab these little pegs into the dark gray plastic here on the bottom of the nose cone. Just kind of angle that in, just like so. Rotate these legs down, rotate this bit up, and this bit up. Now these bits right here are soft plastic, which really kind of bugs me, but it's not too terribly bad. I understand why they have to do it, but and then just flip these little back pieces. I understand why they have to do that because they're, you know, pretty long and they're pointy, and obviously they don't want kids to poke their eyes out, but whatever. Fold out the feet just like so, and then kind of position those so that they're gonna allow for Starscream, well, to fall backwards. But you can have them standing up this way. Come up here to the top section and unpeg the wings. Just kind of fold those off to the side. Take this section here and rotate this around. And as you rotate it around, once you get it to about the 180 degree mark, you're going to hear it clicking in place. Just like so. That's a really nice click, and that really locks it in there pretty nicely. I really do like that. Angle these back. They're on double hinges, so you want to kind of fold these back and get those up and out of the way. Come around here to the top, split these. These are going to fold down and become his arms, obviously. Fold this section back, and then you're going to fold the torso bit, and that will reveal his head. Kind of bring that up, angle that forward. This is going to accordion in and lock into place. Stick your nail, which I don't have any, in between this. Separate that like so. Rotate this bit around, and then rotate that down. Bring this all the way around, lock that down into place, just like so. All of this will tab in there, except this doesn't really stay tabbed in very well, which does kind of suck, but and then just position these wings so that they're nice and scary looking. Rotate this around, and then you need to take this forearm, well, fold out the hand, take the forearm and pull, make sure you pull as hard as you can, and it's going to make you a little nervous the first time you do it, but you need to get this little metal piece all the way up, so there you go. And you do have to pull fairly hard on that, which is kind of unfortunate because like I said, it feels like it's going to snap,
But there you go. Fold that down just like that. Again, position the wings so that they look freaking cool. Set that off to the side. Take these missiles, fold these bits down, and this is where you're going to take these missiles and you're going to plug them in on his forearm. Do that on that side as well. And plug that in. And boys and girls, children of all ages, and fans of Transformers around the world, here you have Transformers Prime Starscream in his robot mode.
Now, PR might beat me when it comes to getting these figures first and reviewing them, but I clearly beat him when it comes to posing these figures. As you can see, this figure is beautifully articulated, and you can get him posed in any number of different ways. That's just kind of one of them. Now, obviously, he kind of has this like very spindly look to him, but that's so very accurate to how he looks in the actual cartoon that anybody that complains about it really has no basis for complaining. I mean, this thing is just absolutely wonderful looking. One thing that everybody is kind of mentioning is they absolutely love how the movie Starscream is kind of represented here in his chest. You can kind of see his eyes here, and then here's his mouth. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just a nice nod from the actual producers of Transformers Prime, who also were the writers and such for the first 2 live-action movies, but at any rate, that's just really cool. His feet are something that are kind of interesting to me. For all intents and purposes, these things should be absolutely terrible to balance on, but this guy balances very nicely. You can get some really good posability, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the front and the back portion of the feet are posable, and then he's kind of got these little stabilizers here on the outside of his feet. If I can get it to work, and then you can position it down like that, and you can get him doing almost any kind of pose really that you want. That's absolutely impressive in my opinion. In terms of his articulation, he's got this ball joint on his head, so you can get it going, you know, any which way that you want. He rotates here on a ball joint here at the upper part of the shoulder, also rotates at the upper part of the bicep, bends at the elbow, and also, because of the transformation kind of, he's got a joint where obviously you can get that whole pose going. That's just absolutely wonderful. He's kind of got 2 joints here on his wrist, one that goes inward like that, and then another one, so you can really choose a wide variety of different poses for his wrists. The nature of his transformation does kind of give him a waist rotation, but once you get it to a certain point, it kind of locks into place. But it still does rotate, and it still will hold in that rotated position. Just when you do it, it kind of makes things look a little weird in the waist area. So when it's not rotated around, obviously it looks better, but then you rotate it, and that just kind of looks strange. He's got a ball joint here at the upper part of the thigh, or hip, I should say specifically, because at the upper part of the thigh, and the ball joint means it pops off, he also has a swivel at the upper part of the thigh itself, so you can get a good rotation there if you really want. Bends at the knee, and then like I said, he's got the foot that on the front part goes forward and back, and then the back part goes forward and back. So you get a good ability to pose him despite what really kind of look like weird feet. Well, not only that, but because of the transformation, you can position these kind of really any way that you want. I prefer to kind of keep them up and really being very creepy looking, but this is just an absolutely gorgeous looking figure, and I really love how they got the hunchback look going for him. Very accurate to the cartoon model as well. I don't know if you can see it very well, but you can kind of see it based on how his torso bends forward just like that. Very cool indeed. I absolutely love this little guy. The only real kind of complaint that I have would be these missile pods, and that's kind of a minor nitpick, I suppose. These are the only things on here that really aren't accurate to the look of the actual cartoon model. They come in this 3-pod missile setup. In the actual cartoon, he's only got 1. Now, I am actually going to modify this. I'm going to cut these side ones off. This is
this little back section here, they're kind of connected. But I'm going to cut these side ones off and just leave this top missile and see how that looks. And then if I don't like it, obviously I can just buy the retail version when it actually comes out. So that's my only real minor complaint about this figure. Now granted, it also doesn't have some of the red that it should have, such as the actual crest itself. That should be painted red. But the actual gray plastic on here doesn't bug me too much because it goes nicely with the rest of the look of the figure. Now obviously you could add those red details if you wanted to, but being that those are made out of soft plastic, you're probably going to have a hard time actually painting them. I know in Pia's case, his actual figure, what he decided to do was he took a red Sharpie and he painted that crest, and that seems to hold pretty well. So if that's something that you would like to do, obviously it's something that is available for you to do. And just spin around here on the back, and even the back looks pretty clean. I mean, obviously he's got some junk back here, but it's not too terribly bad. And actually that's supposed to be a little bit more flush, but very cool looking, and like I said, just so incredibly accurate to this CGI model. I really am impressed in general with how this guy looks. Now, in terms of a size comparison, here he is next to the Transformers Classic Starscream. And as you can see, much like Animated Lockdown, it starts out as a small vehicle and becomes very large. The Transformers Prime Starscream really does the exact same thing. While the classic version of Starscream was much bigger in terms of jet mode, the Prime version of Starscream just towers over this guy. I mean, look at that. That's incredibly big. That's a huge size difference. Now to transform him back, just take these missiles off, just like so. Fold these hands inward, just like that. Then again, collapse this downward till you hear a little tiny click. You will hear a click when you get it all the way down. Just like that. Fold the head, fold this back up, kind of get that out of the way. Separate this whole section and pull the head back. There we go. Fold the head down and into the cavity, his chest cavity. Fold that up, bring this up and rotate this around. Bring these little bits together just like so, and fold that up just like that. Bring this all the way up. Kind of get these wings bent down and out of the way. Rotate the torso till you hear a click. Bring these up and around, just like that. Keep the hands down. Rotate these outward, and then you're going to bring this down, and these little hands are going to kind of fit in between this section right inside here. Just like that. That'll tab together. Keep it just like so. Bring these wings up on this joint and rotate them in, and then you're going to see this little tiny tab that fits into that hole. Keep that lined up. Pegs that in just like so. Do that on that side as well. Bring these legs down, separate them from the little tab section there, rotate them around, and you're going to be plugging them into the light gray section here now. Fold this bit down, fold that bit down, fold this bit down, and that bit down, fold the feet in, fold the feet in, kind of get those angled straight, push that all the way up and inside. Then on the inside here, there's a little tiny tab that sticks out right here that's going to peg into here. Do that on that side of the leg, and then also there's another tab right up in here that's going to tab on the inside of the foot area. Do that on both sides, kind of give that a squeeze to lock that into place. Fold these little rear stabilizers back out like that. Take the missiles, plug them on the underside of the wings, and here you have Starscream back in his jet mode. Transformers Prime is really becoming one of my favorite Transformer series, and these toys really do a fantastic job of capturing the look and the feel of each character. Starscream, for example, while the jet mode is pretty small, the robot mode, as you can see, becomes a pretty good sized figure. While the jet, like I said, is a tiny little representation of the actual jet, it accurately recreates
how Starscream looks, and I absolutely love it. Even, you know, the bottom, okay, yeah, those look like legs, you know, and from the side, they're kind of like legs. But it's really not too terribly bad, people. The transformation is fun. I could do this all day long. And the robot mode just is a spot-on representation of the Transformers Prime Starscream. I am so very happy that I picked this figure up, and when these come out, I highly recommend that Starscream be one of your first purchases. You really are not going to regret getting your hands on this guy. So until next time, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.